Greetings, my name is Jackie Pierce. Today I'll be sharing a couple of key ingredients to cook up information literacy by exploring the world of facts and opinions. Knowing what these terms mean and how they impact research writing and navigating the reliability of evidence that we find in the world will give you a leg up on knowing what is and is not true and useful information. This list will provide you with a quick overview of our topics and how we'll be exploring the important distinctions between facts and opinions. Before we get into facts and opinions, we need to take a look at information literacy as a concept and recognize that painting anything as true, false, black, white, good, evil can be dangerous. The American Library Association defines information literacy as a set of abilities requiring individuals to recognize when information is needed and have the ability to locate, evaluate, and use effectively the needed information. Information in and of itself is not inherently good or bad. Likewise, most sources of information cannot be characterized as right or wrong, at least not without some examination. Sorting sources into true-false can be dangerous. Remember the old adage, even a broken clock is right twice a day. A great example of this is the illustrious Wikipedia. While it is not considered academic and should generally be avoided if you're writing a paper for a college class, the reality is that Wikipedia is accurate most of the time. As a source for quick information, it's a great starting place no matter what your English teacher might say. While reliable most of the time, it does have credibility problems because anyone can edit it. What makes it not as credible, ironically, is sort of what makes it usually reliable. Bottom line, we can't turn life and information into a true-false quiz. Let's take a look at what we mean when we use terms like fact and opinion. First and foremost, it's important to recognize that fact does not automatically mean true, nor does opinion automatically mean false. When people hear the word fact, they tend to think of Webster's first two definitions here, something that has actual existence or an actual occurrence. However, when it comes to judging the validity of information or to using information to prove points, the third one here is much more important. A piece of information presented as objective reality. The statement, "the sky is green," is not an opinion as much as it is an erroneous statement or claim of fact. Likewise, the statement, "the Kansas City Chiefs will win the Super Bowl this year," may or may not be proven true next February, but it is presented as a fact and not an opinion. So what does this mean for opinions? Again, the first two definitions provided by Webster are familiar. A view, judgment, or appraisal formed in the mind about a particular or a generally held view. For our purposes, the third one, again, is key. A formal expression of judgment or advice by an expert. Expert opinion is considered credible and reliable in crafting an argument or in conducting research on any topic. However, the trouble arises when we disagree on what constitutes being an expert, especially when two experts might disagree. Let's examine potential pros and cons of using facts in terms of information impact. On the plus side, facts are provable, true when proven, statistical, and objective. People respond to objectivity in numbers. However, facts can be boring. They can be disproven. We might even be duped by facts that are outdated, and facts alone often lack context. So what about opinions? On the plus side, They are also provable or at least supportable, trusted when the source is credible. They are usually provided with proper context, and they're often engaging or interesting. Opinions, however, can be problematic when they are not supported well, provided by someone who is not an expert, often contradicted by other opinions, and subjective. In the final analysis, both facts and opinions can be useful in our quest for finding and sharing information. It's really important to remember that facts are not automatically good and opinions are not automatically bad. The key is to be critical thinkers about all forms of information we might find. Accepting any information as 100% true without examining it first can be disastrous. Therefore, go forth, seek the truth, and don't buy anything as truth without further analysis. If you do that, you'll be well on your way to information literacy. Thank you for your time.